My question is to the Premier, and it relates to a question that I asked him last week. And it deals with the issue of downloading of provincial health care costs to the municipalities. York Region passed a measure that adds $12 million of cost to the local tax base for property taxpayers for hospital capital costs. John Taylor, the regional councillor for York Region and a former Liberal candidate, said this is, and I quote, essentially voluntary downloading, raising the fact, and he said specifically, this is really provincial responsibility. And so I ask once again on behalf of taxpayers in York Region, why is the provincial government downloading essential hospital costs to taxpayers in York Region?
Okay. Premier.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, I have utmost respect for my honourable friend and indeed for John Taylor as well, but I think that they misunderstand some elements of history on the file of community contribution for the purposes of healthcare capital construction. When Elizabeth Whitmer was the Minister of Health, when the member from was the Minister of Health in this province, the funding relationship on capital projects was either 50-50 provincial community or at the highest 70% provincial, 30% community. We've raised that to 90%, Mr. Speaker. There is inherent in the construction of new hospital a recognition that communities should and must be involved. In the case of York Region, rather than relying only on the contributions from individuals and businesses in the community, the region has decided to take a leadership position to raise those resources through the tax base. Mr. Speaker, I see that as leadership. There are other models and mechanisms, but at all times there's a community.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, East Gwillimbury Mayor Jamie Young agrees with York Regional Councillor and former Liberal candidate John Taylor that what is happening in York Region is fundamentally wrong. The fact is that this government slapped on a new health care tax levy on people right across the province, including people in York Region, under the guise that that will pay for growing health care costs. Yep. We know full well that this government has abandoned fast-growing communities because they are not funding their rightful amount of costs. And in the past, yes, it's true, communities have raised costs to help with capital construction. However, here it is. We in York Region are growing at the rate of 35,000 people a year. This government is not keeping up to that rapid growth. They know they're underfunding health care. Why now are they insisting that the local municipality download costs onto the property taxpayer that he knows he should be paying?
Deputy Premier.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member sure does stretch himself into a pretzel with some of what he had to say there. He talks about not funding growth in high-growing regions as if he can't see that in Richmond Hill, Mr. Speaker, there's a great big construction crane adding an element to the hospital. It's as if the honourable member doesn't know that in the last 5 years, a small hospital in York Region in Newmarket has now emerged as one of our biggest and has underway at the moment a regional cancer centre. It's as if he doesn't know, Mr. Speaker, that in Brampton, at Credit Valley, at Trillium Hospital, in Oshawa, Mr. Speaker, in Ajax at present, that there isn't hospital construction underway. And it's as if the honourable member from York Region does not know that new hospital construction will begin very soon in Markham and that work is underway, Mr. Speaker, to build on the community health centre that's already under construction in Vaughan with new health care facilities, Mr. Speaker. Our government has constructed more hospitals in the last 5 years than the last 5 governments in the province.
Thank you.